go. And she said, why? And I was like, well, Finn and I got into an argument. And she goes, oh, what happened? I started to try and explain myself. And the minute that I mentioned the Sanguine War, she got defensive. And then immediately jumped to his defense and started accusing me of making fun of his trauma. Where the fuck that came from, I have no idea. And I was like, you know what? Have a good day. And I hung up the phone because I wasn't going to entertain it. If she's just going to hear what she wants to hear and not listen to the words that are coming out of my fucking mouth, then there's no point.
Won't be the first time.
So I don't mean to interrupt. Does anybody need food? I'm just gonna go get some food.
I have some that was left up here, but I don't have any drink.
Just give me a couple combos, please, Nova. That'd be great.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
It's all right. Yeah.
Hi, Leah.
That's all right.
Hi, I'll come see you in a bit, honey. I don't want to interrupt your private talk, so I'll come see you.
And I explained all of this to Irish and to Ivy. And I think at this point, Cora had showed up.
U-turn going eastbound Vespucci Boulevard.
Okay.
And then he started talking about the issues that he had been hearing about from me or about me for months. Because apparently both Ziggy and Rue have been complaining about the what if scenarios. And they've been accusing me of guilt tripping them.
Radio check.
Although I say Ziggy and Rue, but he didn't specify them both. I'm just assuming from...
Yeah, gentle. Okay. Sorry about that. I was just making sure me and Nova are on the radio in case anything happens.
Yeah, you're fine. He said that I've been hearing about you putting doubt in their heads for months with your what ifs and your guilt trip and your manipulations. And I'm just like, how the fuck is my wanting... Well, no, first of all, I started with anything that was said between me and my family is, with all due respect, none of your business.
Right.
To which he replied, if it causes them to hesitate to do what the club needs them to do, then it is my business. So I said, Sean, you know me. I love my family, every single one of them. And I don't want one half killing the other half. And I was trying to figure out some kind of way for the people that I love to be safe. That was it. There was no guilt trip. There was no manipulation. It was literally me knowing that this shit was going to happen and trying to plan ahead on how to deal with it when it does. Because I always knew that it would come to this eventually. that we would get to a point where a line would be drawn in the sand and people would choose their sides. And our family would be ripped apart. And he told me that he believed me, and because he knows me, he knows that that was probably my intention, but it's not how it came across. And I said, well, excuse the fuck out of me for caring about the people that I love. And he said, but your father, Richard, since becoming a marshal, with his drones flying over my home, with him invading our privacy, unprovoked, is a problem. And he brought up your hospital stay, which I'm guessing he got from one of them, Ziggy, Flop, Rue, whatever. And I was like, yeah. I was like, he was in the hospital. I was like, and since he got out, as soon as he got the marshal position, he just kind of threw himself headfirst into his work. And I told him that everybody has their own trauma and they deal with their trauma in their own way. And that I do what I can to make sure that, you are okay.
What
I
did he
was like,
bring
but
that
I
up
have,
for, though? What's his
well,
point?
I don't know. But I told him that, I worried about you, you know, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have said, and I'm sorry. But I said that right now I was just kind of struggling to get you to go back for your checkup because you were so focused on work. And he stepped away, spoke to Ivy and Cora, and by this time we were surrounded by a whole bunch of cars. I'm pretty sure Finn was there standing on top of one of the cars. There were a couple behind us, but I didn't turn to look. And when they came back to me, he said, well, if you're having trouble getting him to the hospital, I know how we can get him there. And Ivy pulled out the knife. And I said, after everything that I've said, this is what you feel like you need to do. And she told me to turn around, and I told her, no, you're going to look me in the face when you do it. And she said, that's fine. I prefer the view like this better. And she stabbed me in the chest. And then rolled me over and started carving into my back and whispered into my ear, "Since you like playing one so well." And then they drove off to leave me bleeding to death. I apologize for even mentioning anything about you and your health. I should have
No,
just kept
they
my
know
mouth
already
quiet.
somehow.
Well, I'm sure Ziggy and Flop tell them everything, apparently, about our fucking family.
Okay,
Nothing is.
hold on. The first thing to keep in mind is
Alright, I
that
got some combos. I'm on the way back.
Copy. The first thing to keep in mind is that Sean could just be doing this to put a wedge between the family. And for his own fucked up reasons, because he wants them to himself. So it might look like Ziggy and Flop, and I know Maple's told me some things about Rue that I haven't liked what I've heard.
She's dead to me. She looked me in my face yesterday and told me that the club was justified in what they did to me.
Okay.
I will never consider
So
her
if I told
family
you
ever again.
that I ran out of gas at a gas station,
She will always put the club before
would you be
any of
angry?
us. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. He said those words.
Yep. She wasn't upset at all that I was hurt, that I almost died. She claimed to, but she was defensive when she showed up.
It's
Right off the
violence.
bat,
Violence for words again.
Yeah.
after everything that I have done for her, even after pulling that weapon, and even despite my being afraid of her, I still reached out trying.
And she said she was the only one trying. She came with Shang and Adbert for her safety. And when we asked why, she pointed out that I was a cop and I've probably hurt people. I said, yeah, I have. But not for no reason.
This was Rue?
Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Edbert and Shang were outside threatening Echo because she wouldn't let them in the ICU. And then apparently they made the comment that they wanted to do more to me. Because she came in panicked after Rue left and Echo did. And was
Yeah, Richard, I'm gonna need a
asking
jerry
if
can for
we
this
had a
Explorer.
place to hide. Because she didn't think that the hospital was safe for us.
Double 007 radio check.
Yeah, Chencho, you're gonna have to ask for help on channel 1 now. But just ask the PD.
Yeah.
Echo mentioned that this was, I think it was Echo. Oh, Nova asked me whether I'd even been investigating them. I haven't. None of the marshals have.
They seem convinced that you're on this one-man mission.
Nope. There have been occasions, such as when they had the warrants, that drones were used to assist in finding them. Or like when they're so busy selling drugs that they're killing people and shooting them in their backyards that I send a drone up to see if I can spot what's happening. If anyone needs medical attention, that I send a drone up over public streets to see if I can spot anything. And I have Sean come over in the lot with people up by the courthouse watching to see if he needs backup, and he's threatening me. That happens. But investigating them? That hasn't happened. So this one-man army thing that he thinks has been happening, it hasn't.
You told him about the 911, right, babe?
I told him to read it. I'm not sure if we did, Richard.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I told Flop, and I asked Loki first. Loki's a sergeant now. I asked him first if I was allowed to do it because I believe that I honestly don't trust Sean as far as I can throw.
Just call him Irish. I don't want.
So I told Flop about the 911 that was sent because I wouldn't be surprised if he went to that extent. And I told her
The interesting thing about that 911 is that it has a couple of meanings that I don't think he intended. Because he asked me to stop in my tracks so the rest of my family's gonna burn. Half of my family is in his club.
Well, clearly they're all safe. So it's literally just going to be me, Sean, and Matt.
No, but I think
what Richard's getting at is that if he continues to essentially, in Sean's opinion, Irish's opinion, keep on his path, that the rest of his family, being Ziggy and Flop, are going to be in trouble. because it's, in his probable opinion, that they are the reason that he believes Richard is on them. I get that right?
Exactly right. So I think it reasonable that I think we need to show and make them aware of that 911 and show them who they're dealing with. And they need to
Like-
start making some decisions, and quickly.
I told Flop, I told Rue, and Rue's response was that he would never do something like that. And she believes that he is an all-seeing saint and would never hurt her dads. And I said, okay, if that's what you believe. And I wanted to say more, but I didn't. Because I felt like I couldn't sit there and stand by with that information, potentially knowing somebody could be in danger.
And Ruth made her choice. Her family's no longer our family.
Agreed.
Agreed. Matt
As for
was
Flop and
simply,
Ziggy, yeah. What did Flop say?
Flop
a
was,
whole lot of nothing.
yeah, he seemed very conflicted. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain Flop's reaction because there wasn't much. It seemed
I mean,
like he was fighting himself.
yeah, exactly. He was of course worried about me. But then he just kind of sounded numb. And I, coming out of the anesthesia, said that I didn't want any member of the ADMC coming into the ICU or coming near me. And I think he probably thought that Ziggy was included, but what he doesn't realize is that Ziggy is my brother first and foremost. I don't see him as ADMC. I clarified it in the note later. I had just come out of surgery.
That was what Flop was worried about in the moment.
I think maybe.
Then there's a lot more to be concerned about.
I agree. And I flagged him back down a little while after to tell him about the 911. And we spoke briefly, and I let him know. Same thing I said here, that I don't trust that man, and I don't believe that he is safe. Flop. Nor Ziggy. Nor Rue. And I believe he asked me something to do with if I believe that a Rue would be capable of doing something like this. Or Ziggy, I guess. And I think that was based off of Edda saying no ADMC. And I answered truthfully. With Ziggy, I don't know if I don't think so. I would hope not. I would think he would not do it. And I would like to believe that. And with Rue, I was very much honest, and I said, I feel like if Rue had Irish behind her, and he said to do it, that she would. And I asked her that same question when she showed up later, and she twisted it, and tried to dodge it, by saying that that's not something they do, is make people who care about each other hurt the person they care about for no reason, just to prove a point or something like that. And I tried to explain that that was not what I was trying to tell her, but she couldn't seem to comprehend it and kept getting more agitated, trying to throw hypotheticals at us, which I shut down.
Made no sense. Did not apply to the situation at all. She was reaching for anything to try and deflect from the fact that she didn't have the guts to say.
Her retort to that was to ask Edda what her reaction would be had I accidentally shot Rue. And I clearly explained to her that if there was ever a situation where I accidentally shot her, my first course of action would be to do everything I can to make sure she's okay.
And I wasn't accidentally knifed and mutilated either.
And then I
It
said
it made no sense.
I wouldn't be happy about it. I wouldn't just be okay that it happened.
Ivy took pleasure in doing what she did to me. She actually enjoyed. Somebody that I considered my friend.
And I spoke very clearly to Rue then and there, in terms that I hoped she would understand, to clearly outline the difference between her and her group's mentality from mine and ours, and that was the fact that I am angry, and I want revenge. I'm not going to say I don't want revenge, but I'm not going to go and do that. I know better than to do that. I know that's not going to get us anywhere, and I know that revenge could feel good, but I'm not going to throw everything that I've worked so hard at away. Throw all of my morals away for a small amount of pleasure and revenge. And that I wouldn't get. I know the consequences that it would bring. But I'm not going to sit there and lie and say that, I'm not angry. Or I don't want revenge. Because I am.
For a club that cares so much about their image, they still do have fragile feelings.
I'm back on freak. I'm sorted.
You could say that again.
And honestly, I think what they called in UHA, as much as it's abhorrent, was projection.
I'm glad you
'Cause
said it, Richard, because I've been
I've
thinking of...
never met a group as more of a victim mentality, a pick-me attitude, because they have pulled that I am investigating them because I've flown a drone around like twice. If they want an investigation, I'll give them a fucking investigation. Larry?
Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Oh, I put Larry on
Yeah,
the
not too
case.
bad. Yeah, not too bad. Just my daughter's in hospital, so pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I heard about that. And I'll be completely transparent with you, Rick. I'm looking into it. Maple brought it to me and wants me to look into it and investigate it because I can't remember. Are they married or dating or something? Maple and Etta?
They're engaged.
They're engaged. Okay. I know it's either very close to it, but I wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to kind of talk to me about it, about the situation.
Sure. Yeah.
'Cause I
I'm
kind
down
of
to
I,
answer any questions. Yeah.
okay, because I want to kind of get a backstory, just to kind of see. Because reading the statements given and everything surrounding it, it seems like it stemmed from an incident between you and Finley, I guess.
I don't think that's correct.
Hold on one second. Let me pull the report up again.
Not a good start.
Yeah, that's so that is what Etta said was something between her and Finley happened, and Finley was talking about saying Richard was being a thorn in their back. So it seems as if the animosity is stemming from
okay.
something between you guys.
It's because I'm a marshal. That's probably what it is. Yeah, listen, I can come anywhere you want and ask some questions.
Yeah, if you want to, we can do it right down here at MRPD. I say I'm
Okay.
not investigating into you or anything. I'm just trying to get a backstory. So if you did want
Yeah,
to
I
talk, I'd
completely
greatly
understand.
appreciate it.
I completely understand. Yeah, I'll head down there shortly, all right?
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Richard.
Okay. Thanks, Larry. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. That was Larry. He wants to ask me some questions. All right. Listen, I'm gonna be around, so call me if you need anything. But
Yeah, I did put Larry in charge of this sort of situation because I was sort of the one person on scene and all that stuff, and I don't think I can really deal with that without being accused of some form of bias.
okay. Well, Larry, as much as he's a good investigator, kind of dropped the ball on the Remington case. So, you know, let's maybe get more than one investigator if we can.
Sadly, we don't have many options here. Shift 3 right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's high water. She's a cadet, but what shift is she?
No, she's full officer now. Shift 2. She's a full deputy. I think she was promoted recently.
She's good. She's very good.
Is she?
She
does
did
come into
the-
Shift 3 a lot, so I could speak
Listen,
to her.
I don't know whether you heard about the whole reason I wasn't around the other night, the court thing. I won't say much more because I don't want to, no offense, Etta, but I don't want to, police officer or nothing. But if you see, just look up court in the reports next time. That was the reason I wasn't around. Pretty big situation. She's handled it very well. Yeah, just big raid, big everything, kind of crazy. But yeah, she's I don't know whether she's gonna get involved, but I saw a report from her about it, so listen.
Dad,
Yeah.
please be careful.
Oh, I will be. Don't worry. I'm gonna yeah, okay. Yeah, call me if you need anything, alright?
Will do.
Yeah,
Okay. Love you guys.
Love you too.
love you.
Woo. Nova, where are you?
I have prison to pick up something for Anna.
Alright, copy that.
So I've been given some equipment to put somewhere. Where's the best place to put it?
For DLC? Is it for DLC?
It's equipment that's ended up in their rotation apparently. So she's give it to us. So do I just put it in my locker, then give it to Anna, I guess? Because she was dealing with it.
So it's equipment that's Anna's?
No, I think it's somehow it's ended up in their rotation. I don't know. It's a flashlight, a camera, and a nightstick.
Yeah, but whose is it?
I don't know.
Was it got serial numbers on it?
Yeah, but I'm driving. I can't see right now.
Okay. Let me check once I get down to Mission Row.
Do you want me to meet you at Mission Row or the office?
Meet me at Mission Row because I'm gonna be answering some questions from Larry.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sorry about that. It took longer than expected.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. I've got a lot of things I'm working on anyway, so. Oh, Richard, please. Richard, please.
Jesus
okay?
Christ, Nova.
Are you okay?
Jesus Christ. You know what the great thing is about conflict of interest? Who's gonna argue a conflict of interest when my son-in-law is part of the gang we're gonna be investigating?
Right, where have you gone in this maze?
Let me call Larry and see where he is. Actually, I'm gonna run to the bathroom first. All right, I'm back in a sec, chat. I need the loot. I've been bursting for like a fucking hour, dude. Ooh. Back in a sec.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing? Who's there?
I'm Officer Larry Johnson.
Oh, hello. It's good to meet you. I'm Marshall Gallagher.
Nice to meet you. I think I met you earlier, and I was going to ask you a question about talking to Richard.
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's, he's coming to see you, is he not?
Yeah, he is. I talked to him. I'm just gonna I'll probably bring him down into interrogation just to have it on the record. Like I said, I'm not assuming him of any criminal charges, just trying to get a backstory.
Yeah.
But just to have everything kind of on the record. I
Do you
really
want
want to get
any,
a backstory.
do you need any food or drink?
I think I should be alright. I just haven't got some noodles earlier, but thank you though.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, thank you. I'll see you in a second. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10 hoping. I'm hoping that Richard isn't in trouble with this whole situation. Yeah, I kind of do actually, because I respect Richard and I always want to look out for him, and it seems like something with him may have sparked this. It to me it seems like they took it a step further than that. They targeted his daughter. They stabbed her and then they carved the victim into her back. And they specifically stated it was
All right.
because Richard has been.
Really? You think for the 18 months? No.
So this seems a little
42 months. Holy shit. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Lucas Lavender.
It was consecutive 18 months. Though.
Richard, am I here?
Oh, wait.
Hello. I can give you the report number if it's the one in regards to this, it'd be 11448.
Okay. You okay with me looking at this, or?
Yeah. I'm just to be honest with you, I'm just gonna be kind of trying to get a backstory. I'm not assuming you did anything criminally, but
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just trying to get a.
You know, she's my daughter, which is not officially right, but you're okay with me looking at this, or?
I would assume I'm okay with you looking at it.
Okay.
I'd say it's up to you if you're okay with yourself looking at it.
I'm fine.
There's some information in there that you may not want to read. So just a heads up.
I'm good. Okay. Well, I don't want to read too much because I don't want to get influenced. My answers to be influenced. So, where do you want me to answer questions? You just want
to. We can go down to the interrogation room, and I'm going to record it.
Yep.
I would advise you of your rights and everything when you get in there. I'll just let you know beforehand. I'm not looking at anything criminal for you, Richard. I'm just trying to get somewhat of a backstory.
Okay.
Before I delve too much deeper. A big thing is I want to make sure that you are safe as well in regards to this, because it does seem targeted. This seems a little bit out of the ordinary, and that's the reason I'm looking into
it. Yeah, this is, well, definitely targeted.
All right, Richard, we can do the investigation room, and we'll continue from there if that works for you.
Oh, absolutely fine. That new marshal, that is Leonova. So yes, she's technically a new marshal, not new to law enforcement though.
I'll leave the door open. If you want Jesse in here as well, that's fine with me.
All right.
Do you need anything to eat or drink before we start, Richard?
I could use, I think Nova might have got me some stuff.
Okay.
Jesus.
Pull up my notes here. I think I got most of everything. Let me plug this recorder in and get a start.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, we're down in Denham when the interrogation room. If you want to come in.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Only if you want to.
Yeah, I'll be there in a second.
All right.
I'll be there. All right, bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye. What a fucking day.
Yeah, I can only assume, Richard. All right, so I have the recording going here. I'll start by saying I am Senior Officer Larry Johnson, badge number 464 with the LSPD. And if you'd like to identify yourself, Richard.
Sure. It's State Marshal Richard Dog, badge number 009.
All right, Richard, we are here today, August 24th of 2024 at 7:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just have a few questions for you in regards to something that happened recently to your daughter. I'm sure you are aware of them or of what happened to her. I just kind of wanted to get a basis of what may have happened this day and the reasoning for it. All right.
Sure, yeah.
So first question, just to have it on the record, what is your relation to Etta Hawthorne?
She's basically my daughter. She's not adopted or nothing like that, but you know, that's how I see her as much.
Okay, so basically your daughter, not by blood, is she adopted?
No, she's not. Like, she's not adopted, but you know, you don't have to be adopted to be seen as somebody's daughter. You know what I mean?
Yep,
No
I got you. So
paperwork.
basically
No
you treat her
paperwork's
as your
been
daughter.
signed. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my note recorder there was being a little iffy. All right,
Yeah.
what is your relation to Ivy Grayson?
Non-existent. I'll be honest.
Non-existent. Okay. What about your relation to Sean McQuillan?
Adversarial, I'd say. He's a member of ADMC. We've had some pretty, let's call them, hostile interactions lately. One pretty recently. I can get you a date on it if you want. Yeah.
In regards to the incident that happened recently, is that was there a police report made about it, or was it a marshal report?
There's a marshal report, yeah. Actually, I
Okay.
can't. Let me double check that I actually made a report. If you wouldn't mind that. You mind me doing
Yeah,
this?
no
I don't
problem.
want to open up my MDT without, you know.
No, you're good, Richard. Again, I'm
Yep.
just kind of trying to get a backstory, talking to you as a friend here. I don't really I don't
I
assume
know,
you've done anything criminally. I just am doing this for the investigation as well as to make sure that you are safe.
Let me see. So this one. It was on the 19th of August. I made this report at, I can't remember whether I made it straight away, but I made the report at well, I made the report on the 19th of August at 40 minutes past midnight UTC. So it would have been the 18th of August for Eastern time, for your American time. That's when it's a state marshal report, and I can tell you about the incident if you like.
I don't think that would be necessary. I don't want to get too much into that if that's on the marshal side.
No, it's you know, it's not like a big like incident. I think it might provide some light on, I think it's pretty important to your investigation, and it's not like a big marshal report type thing. It was more of an incident happened, I want to write this down, less of this is a state marshal incident, like investigation that needs to be made a report. So essentially what happened was there were some gunshots to the north of the Marshall building, around in the ADMC block, right? So that's the block that corners on that is like in between Davis, Roy Lowenstein, and Innocence Boulevard. There was gunshots coming from there. Very common occurrence, but it was happening a lot this day. It happened again, but there was like a lot of gunshots. So I went onto the roof with a drone. I sent the drone up. Bit of a finicky motherfucker, I'll be honest. Excuse my French. Eventually got it up. But I would have a public streets, none of a private property, and flew to see if anybody might have been injured or whether there was still any active gunshots. There was no active gunshots, but I was seeing if there was anybody injured that might have been shot down to see if we needed to send in medical. Oh, excuse me. Let me turn this off. Can I take this really quick? Make sure it's not an emergency. It's my
Yeah,
my
feel free to do so. I can pause the recording.
Maple. I'm in question right now. Is it an emergency?
Not an emergency, but a little bit of a concern. There's somebody from ADMC just kind of sitting outside the hospital. Dr. Echo let us know. They're just waiting across the street where the basketball courts are, or the old apartment buildings.
Okay. I'm gonna send. I'll send Nova down. Wait, where exactly are they?
Echo, can you tell me again where it was exactly? Try to make sure I tell them right. Yeah, so from the front doors of the hospital to the left, there's a parking lot.
Yeah.
Looking out of the hospital.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Facing westbound.
How does she know it's them?
She saw the patch on their back.
Fuck. Okay, I'm actually with Larry now, so I'll let him know. And all right, hopefully we can send someone down. All right,
Okay, thank you,
Michael. Bye. There is an ADMC car parked across from the hospital. Watching the front doors of the hospital at the the apartment block opposite the front doors.
Yes.
Okay.
Echo saw a patch on their back, and they're parked up watching the front of the hospital. So I don't know whether.
So you,
Let me see where the other unit on duty is. I think they're up. They
just
are.
want me
Would
to
you like
keep
me
an eye on
to
him?
have them send there?
It's up to you, Larry. Either because I don't know whether if this is a PD investigation, I don't know whether you want to send someone down. Maybe that might be best.
I think sending a PD unit would be better rather than a
I
black town
agree.
marshal unit. Yeah.
But again, I don't want to. If you can't afford a unit right now, then we.
All right, 44. If it's possible, you can watch over the hospital. There's an ADMC unit there that may be hunting for someone.
Thanks, Larry.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, let me get this recorder going again. All right, there we are.
Just to clarify, that was my that was Etha's fiance, Sean Maple. He's an officer. I don't know his badge number. I apologize. I think it's 499, maybe. He was just calling me to let me know about that. Anyway, so to continue on with the incident that occurred on the 18th, if we're going by Eastern, 19th by UTC, I flew the drone over to see if anyone was injured. I can't. It's best my recollection, there was nobody injured for me to call EMS or police into the scene, and so I flew the drone back. But there was a lot of activity. Flew the drone back, landed it, continued on with my day. Right. Went down to my scout that was in the parking lot. Got on my scout. Saw Sean McQuillan walking up to me. Shirt off, just wearing pants, walking up in the parking lot. So felony trespassing at this point. There was also some individuals up on the ramparts of the city hall, like the upper walkway that looks over the parking lot. They must have been stood on the little, they're not plant pots, but like the little steps that you can see over into the parking lot, and I could see their heads popping over. So he had backup. And we had a heated conversation where he was claiming that I was flying over private property, snooping on him and his gang. He was threatening me, saying that I needed to stop that, stop looking into him, and all this kind of stuff. I lied, said I wasn't doing anything of the sort, said I wasn't looking at his, any of his block. I'm, you know, air quotes, right? None of that. I just said I was looking at somebody else going into the sewers or something like that to try and diffuse the situation. This isn't the first time they've had problems with drones. They've had a lot of issues with drones in the past. Though I think there's been drones up in the sky, you know, probably 5-6 times coming from the Marshall buildings, and they've probably had problems with them every single time. They're not the happiest of people. Let me see if there's any more details that might be pertinent in this instance.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. So we had this tense interaction, and I left to go to Mission Row because I was working another case. When I left, 3 blue gauntlets followed me all the way to Mission Row. They just followed me straight down. I took a right onto Davis, left onto Little Bighorn, and went north all the way to Mission Row. They followed me all the way. And then once I got to Mission Row, I went up to the roof. I saw them waiting for me in alleyways around Mission Row, waiting for me to leave. I stayed there a good 20 minutes. Eventually, they drove off. Then, when I was headed back to the Marshall office, they followed me again. I believe the vehicle that I spotted follow me came back to a Jason Tyrell. I didn't manage to actually grab a photo of the plate read, but they started following me. I had to speed up and go southbound on Strawberry Avenue at high rates of speed, cut round corners and crap like that. Eventually, I pulled into the brown garage, went down to the bottom floor, and then I ran on foot to the staircase, but I heard them come in. I had to hide in the staircase. I then heard them come in their gauntlets, and they were beeping the horn as if to sound to the others where they were. And I heard them all come in. I had to call for backup from PD. I ran up to the top of the staircase, climbed, at the top of the roof, there's the ticket machines. I climbed on top of the ticket machines, got on top of the very top of the staircase and hid there and wait for backup. And eventually they drove out, and police came and escorted me to the Marshall office. So in other words, they hunted me down after that whole altercation with Sean.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, now this isn't the only instance where they've had issues. This is the first time. That was the first time I had a proper altercation with Sean McQuillan. We've had other altercations with the ADMC in the past. That's the Marshals, that is. They have a lot of issues with the Marshals. Reasons being, it's a difficult question to answer, I'll be honest, Larry. Because we really haven't done much other than fly some drones around when it's been necessary, when there's been gunshots or active gunfights, or when it's been necessary like that. The only other time they've been used for investigative purposes were when I think the 3 members of ADMC had the murder warrants. I think you remember that. There was an investigative warrant signed for drone usage to help locate the 3 individuals. And I believe 2 of the marshals used drones in that instance on private property because they had the investigative warrant signed for the block so that they could fly the drones over private property to see if they could spot the individuals wanted for murder. So, other than that, the marshals have done absolutely nothing to ADMC, and yet they feel targeted. For me personally, I believe the targeting is coming from that conversation from McQuillan. Now, you know, I think there is more than that. I think it's more than that conversation because there's a lot of family stuff. There's a lot of personal stuff. But in terms of martial work-related incidents, that's where I think that's coming from. But there is a lot of personal things as well.
Okay, I could see where some tensions have arise from between ADMC and